Mom didn't look up when she said it. We're canceling your wedding. Dad added, your sister's not okay. She's upset. We need to support her. The tux was already fitted. The venue had my initials on the seating chart. I'd paid deposits one by one. $6,000 to the hall, $2,500 to catering, $1,800 to the photographer, $400 to the tailor. All non-refundable. All mine. What changed? I asked. Mom scrolled her phone. She didn't like the seating. She felt ignored. Translation: a tantrum over flowers and who sits next to who. My day was the price. No one asked how I felt. Dad said, family first. It sounded like a rule with only one child in it. I went to my room and pulled a duffel from the closet. 3 shirts. 2 jeans. Sneakers. Laptop. The ring box I'd paid off in 4 months. I set my house key on the kitchen table next to the stack of receipts. Mom kept walking. My sister laughed at a video in the hallway. Dad folded his arms like a judge. I drove to a month-to-month studio behind a tire shop off Route 19. First and last month due at signing. $1,200 total. The carpet smelled like bleach. The window stuck halfway. I sat on the floor and let the fridge hum fill the room. Text started landing. Mom, we'll revisit when your sister calms down. Dad, don't make this bigger than it is. My fiancé, maybe a pause is healthy. Your parents think so. Pause meant my money was gone and my date was open to anyone. I emailed the venue, please release my reservation. Their reply was one line, per contract, deposits are forfeited. I read it twice, then closed the laptop. My bank app showed $57.13 left until payday. I walked to the diner next door and bought a $6 burger and a black coffee. Back in the studio, I used the paper bag as a plate and ate in quiet. No music. No TV. No voices telling me to wait. I made the bed on the floor with a hoodie for a pillow. I turned my phone face down and let their messages stack up without me. The house I left stayed loud, my room stayed still. I didn't slam a door or send a speech. I just moved out and started over. Morning came through a stuck window and a thin strip of light. I made coffee on a hot plate and sat on the floor with my laptop. New address. New bank. New password for everything. I called the jeweler first. I need to return the ring, I said. Store credit or buyback, he replied. Buyback meant a hit, but I took it. $2,100 back on my card. I paid the studio's deposit off and bought a used mattress on Facebook for $120. No frame yet. Just the mattress on the floor and clean sheets. At noon I walked to the tire shop and asked for work. Can you lift? The manager asked. Yep. $18 an hour to stack, sweep, and run deliveries in a beat-up van. He gave me a paper time card and a starter shift that afternoon. On break, I opened HR at my old job on my phone. New emergency contact, me. New mailing address. I split my checking from the joint account my parents once helped me open in college. I turned off the family plan I'd been paying for 4 lines, unlimited data, my bill. Mom called from a landline within 10 minutes. Why is my phone off? I moved out, I said. I'm paying for my line only. She started to argue. I didn't raise my voice. I'm not angry, I said. I'm done paying for things I don't use. The venue emailed next. Your date has been released. A new party inquired under your last name. Please confirm relation. I read it twice. My sister's handle was CC'd. I replied, no relation for billing or approval. Do not use my contracts or rates. They wrote back, understood. At the diner that night I ate a $9 meatloaf special and filled out a DoorDash profile. I listed the ring buyback as income in a simple spreadsheet and made a tab for debts. Row by row, card balance, due date. I set an auto transfer of $50 a week to a savings account I named Exit. I canceled streaming services my family watched under my login. I kept the one I actually use. My fiancé sent a single message, we should talk. I typed, about what, then deleted it. I answered with a time, Saturday at 2. Public place. No blame. No essay. Just a boundary and a clock. I went to sleep early on the new mattress, boots by the door, alarm set for the shop. The house I left could keep running on noise, I would run on work. I started building a life no one could cancel. Saturday at 2, I got to the coffee shop early and took the corner table by the window. She walked in 5 minutes late, eyes on the floor, hands in her sleeves. I didn't know your parents were canceling, she said. They told me it was temporary. For your sister. I kept my voice even. Temporary still cost me 10 grand. She blinked. They said you'd understand. I slid a simple printout across the table. 2 columns, what I paid, what I'm releasing. Ring returned. Venue released. Photographer notified. I'm not transferring anything to your side or theirs. She stared at the paper. Your mom said we could repurpose the vendors for a family celebration. My card says otherwise, I said. My phone buzzed. An email from the venue. Subject, authorization request. Body, we received a call to move your catering balance to a new event under your last name. Please approve. I typed 2 words, do not. Then I froze my card in app. She reached for my hand. We can fix this. I'm not fixing a choice I didn't make, I said. No insults. No speech. Just the line between mine and not mine. After coffee, I drove to a notary next to the UPS store. Change of address was already filed. Now I updated my beneficiary at work and locked my credit with all 3 bureaus. New phone plan, single line. New passwords, randomized 2-factor on everything. By evening the ripples started. Mom from the landline, Netflix says we're signed out. Use your email, I said. Dad, insurance autopay bounced. It was on my card, I said. It isn't anymore. The tire shop called me in early Sunday. I took the shift in the overtime. Between rotations I set up a credit builder account and opened a high-yield savings labeled Quiet. $50 auto transfer on Fridays. I listed a used desk on Craigslist for pickup and found one for $40 2 blocks over. The studio started to look like a place a person lives in, not a stopover. At midnight another email hit. Subject, unauthorized contact change attempt. Body, someone tried to replace your email on the venue contract. Blocked. I added a note to my spreadsheet, vendors, locked. Then I put my phone on do not disturb and slept. They could keep rearranging chairs in a house built on noise. I would keep laying bricks where no one could move them. Sunday started with cold air through the stuck window and the smell of rubber at the shop. Terry showed me the delivery route and tossed me the keys to a dented white van. Keep the clipboard. Sign every drop, he said. I signed, drove, and kept the radio low. On lunch, my cousin Kayla sent screenshots from the family chat. Healing night for sister. Same venue, same menu, new head table. A bullet list sat under it. Move my catering credit, keep my DJ rate, switch the name on the invoice. Mom had typed, he'll cool off by Friday. I saved every image to a folder named Docs, Family, and put my phone face down. Back at the studio, I wrote 1 email to all vendors. Subject, authorization and liability notice. Body, only accept changes from this email. No transfers, no substitutions, no add-ons. I am not responsible for any new event. I asked for written confirmations. They replied one by one, confirmed, confirmed, confirmed. Then I called my bank, added a travel notice so no one could claim my card was lost, and locked card not present transactions. Call time logged, reference numbers saved. At 3 p.m. I stopped by the community college 2 exits down. Autotech 101 met Mondays and Wednesdays 6 to 8 p.m. Tuition at the window, $285. Used workbook from the bookstore bin, $62. I paid cash and walked out with a schedule and a student ID that still smelled like warm plastic. Facebook Marketplace had a 2008 Corolla listed at $3,200. One owner. Brake pads done in May. New tires last winter. We met in a grocery lot. I checked the VIN, took a short drive, and counted the bills on the trunk. Insurance online, $86 a month, card emailed in seconds. Plates at the DMV first thing Monday. Now I had wheels for shop runs and night deliveries. By dinner, the studio looked less temporary. A $40 desk. A chair from the curb with clean cushions. I opened my spreadsheet. Work, school, deliveries, quiet, exit. Auto transfer moved from $50 to $100 on Fridays. My ex texted, your parents want you to apologize and rebook by summer. I typed slow, I'm not performing for access. She replied, I need time. I sent, take all the time you need, and put the phone away. DoorDash brought in $94 before midnight. I bought eggs, rice, and chicken thighs for $21 and stocked the tiny fridge. No speeches. No noise. I kept building a life no one else could cancel. Monday started at the DMV. I stood in line with a coffee and a folder of papers. Plates, title, insurance card, driver's license update. The clerk stamped everything and slid the metal plates across the counter. I bolted them on in the parking lot with a cheap wrench and wiped my hands on a shop rag. At the tire shop, Terry pointed at the schedule. Double shift if you want it. I'll take it. He added 2 more delivery blocks and bumped me to $19 an hour for runs outside the county. I signed the new rate on a paper slip and stuck it in my folder. Before lunch, the photographer emailed. Subject, authorization attempt. Body, we received a request to move your retainer to a separate family event. Name matches your sister. Please verify. I replied with the same line I'd used all week. No transfers. No substitutions. No charges. I attached a 1-page PDF. My signature, today's date, vendor policy, reference numbers. They answered, locked. I dragged the email to Docs, family, and kept working. After the second route, I drove to my parents' place to grab my toolbox and winter coat. Mom opened the door with an envelope. Sign this and we'll smooth things over, she said. Inside was a typed note giving permission to coordinate vendors for family healing events. No dates. No limits. I put the paper back in the envelope and slid it across the table. I'm not authorizing anything, I said. Dad stared at the envelope like it might open by itself. My sister leaned on the doorframe and rolled her eyes. Grow up, she said. I picked up my toolbox, my coat, and a stack of old manuals. No argument. No extra words. I walked out and locked my car. Kayla called on the way back. They're trying to host a recommitment dinner on your date, she said. Same venue. Same menu. Your name on the original calendar. So the plan was never to pause. The plan was to replace. I thanked her, pulled over, and sent 1 email to every vendor. Subject, final notice. Body, do not accept calls or changes from anyone but me. Any future event under my last name is not mine. Replies came back fast. Confirmed, noted, blocked. DoorDash brought in $128 by 10 p.m. I stopped at Walmart and bought a basic socket set for $49 and a pack of oil filters that fit older Corollas. Back at the studio, I built a cheap shelf and lined up the tools. Auto Tech met tonight at 6. I read 2 chapters and filled out the first quiz online. My ex sent, your mom says we can still do a small ceremony in June. I typed 1 sentence, I'm not a placeholder. Then I turned off the phone and set my alarm for the morning route. I kept my receipts, guarded my accounts, and built forward without waiting for permission. Thursday started with a stack of small moves. Post office first. I rented a P.O. box for $78 for 6 months and set every bill to paperless with that address. Then the carrier store. New SIM, single line, my name only. Back at the studio, I opened a free Google Voice number and wrote it on a sticky note. After hours oil change, brakes, basics. Cash or Zelle. At lunch, the tire shop manager waved me into the office. You're dependable, he said. Want the Saturday route and a $1 bump? I nodded. $20 an hour on weekends meant I could drop DoorDash late nights. He handed me a stack of delivery slips and a key to the gate. I drove to Staples and printed 50 cheap business cards for $18. Nothing fancy. My first name, the voice number, mobile basics, fair and simple. On the way back I taped 1 to the diner's bulletin board, left 2 at the laundromat, and handed 1 to a DoorDash driver swapping tires. He texted an hour later, oil change tonight, '09 Civic. I said $40. Bring your own oil or add $15. We met in the shop lot after close. 20 minutes, clean pan, new filter. He added the $15, handed me $55 and said he'd tell his friends. Kayla sent more screenshots from the family chat. Recommitment dinner moved to Saturday. Caterer won't honor the rate. DJ booked. They asked for a deposit. A final message from Mom. He's overreacting. We'll fix it. Under it, a grocery list for a home buffet. I saved the images and put my phone away. The jeweler posted my ring on their resale page at a markup. I scrolled past without stopping. HR emailed 2. Tuition reimbursement open for approved coursework. Auto Tech 101 qualified at 50%. I filled the form, attached my receipt, and added the expected $142 to the spreadsheet for next month. By evening the Corolla had 2 more quick jobs. A cabin filter for $20 labor and a battery swap for $25. Nothing big. Clean work. Neighbors paid in cash and asked for my card. I stocked the trunk with shop towels, funnels, a torque wrench, and a plastic bin for small parts. The studio smelled like coffee and rubber and new sheets. At 10, an email from the venue hit. Subject, charge attempt on canceled contract. Body, A third party tried to pay using your old reference. Declined per lock notice. I archived it and logged the time. I set my alarm for the Saturday route, lined my boots by the door and folded the hoodie on the chair. Their week spun in circles. Mine moved in straight lines. Saturday was their big recommitment dinner. Mine started at the shop with a full route and a thermos of coffee. Terry handed me a clipboard. County run, then the warehouse return. Overtime if you want it. I'll take it. The van rattled over the bridge while the sun burned off the fog. By 10 a.m., texts stacked up. Kayla, caterer backed out. They want takeout trays. Venue, another attempt to move your package. Declined. Bank, fraud block, new card request intercepted. I saved the screenshots, logged the times and kept driving. At noon, a Camry died in the diner lot. Hood up, steam low, owner pacing. Water pump's done, I said after a minute with a flashlight. Can you help? Tow first, I said. I'll do the pump in the shop lane. Parts plus $120 labor. He nodded, looked relieved and made the call. By 2 the pump was in, coolant topped, invoice paid through Zelle. He shook my hand once and left a 5-star review with a photo of the hood closed. The family chat blew up again. DJ won't come without deposit. Grill won't start. Ice melted. Mom, why is the power strip tripping? I put the phone down and crushed a cold bottle of water. The warehouse called in a rush order. I took it and earned the overtime Terry promised. HR emailed while I was unloading tires. Subject, tuition reimbursement approved. Body, $142 posted to next paycheck. 2 minutes later the community college sent a note. Instructor rec, paid internship list opens next month. I added both to the spreadsheet under work, school and underlined the date. At 5, Dad called from a new number. Your mother's car won't start, he said. Come over. I'm on shift, I said. If you want service, text the number on my card. Standard rate, first come, first served. He went quiet like the line had gone bad. Then he hung up. My ex sent a photo of folding tables in their yard. Plastic cloths, trays from a grocery store, a speaker on a chair. Under it, one line, they say you can fix this. I typed, I don't manage events. Then I muted the thread for 8 hours and rolled the van back onto Route 19. Evening brought 3 small jobs behind the shop gate. Battery test on an old Accord. Brake pads on a Civic with metal-on-metal squeal. Headlight bulbs for a delivery driver who tipped in cash in gratitude. I stacked the bills in a jar labeled quiet and closed the gate at 9. Back at the studio, I wiped my hands, showered and cooked rice and chicken in one pot. Kayla sent one last screenshot from the family feed. Neighbors complained about noise. The grill burned the edge of the porch. Police cruised by and told them to wrap it up. I saved the image and closed the folder. The studio smelled like soap and dinner. On the desk, class schedule, oil change punch cards, a short list of clients who said they'd be back. Under the desk, a small lockbox with paper receipts and a roll of 20s for parts. I set out clean clothes for Sunday and put my boots by the door. Their night ran on panic and extension cords. Mine ran on work, cash and a plan that didn't need applause. 6 weeks passed. My spreadsheet turned green more than red. Quiet, held $1,200. Exit crossed $2,000. The tire shop made me lead on weekend routes and set me at $21 an hour. Auto Tech 101 wrapped with a pass and a short note from the instructor. You work clean. On Mondays I rented a bay by the hour in a small industrial strip behind the lumber yard. $25 an hour, tools included. Oil changes, brakes, batteries, belt swaps. Nothing fancy. Cash, Zelle, simple receipts. The bulletin board at the diner filled with tear-off tabs from my card. My ex wrote, we can set a new date if you want. I read it once and answered, I'm not going back. No blame. No list. Just the line. Kayla texted an HOA fine and a photo of the porch with a burn mark. There were late fees, a bounced DJ deposit, and a grocery bill they tried to split between 3 cards. Dad called from the landline and asked for a bridge until next month. I don't lend, I said. I keep my accounts clean. He went quiet. I let the silence hold. I met with a banker on Main Street and opened a business checking account. Single owner, DBA filed, $100 minimum. I paid $60 for a basic logo and printed a small magnet for the Corolla. Mobile basics, fair and simple. The cashier at the hardware store handed out my card to delivery drivers. Terry told me, don't burn out. I told him, I'm not running from anything. I'm building. HR posted the reimbursement. The next paycheck felt real: hours, overtime, tuition credit, tips folded tight in the lockbox. I bought a used rolling cart for $85 and a torque wrench with a lifetime warranty. I moved to a one-bedroom above the hardware store. Clean floors, a front door that latched right, a window that opened all the way. First month and deposit came straight from exit. Mom sent one more text: "We want you back at the table. Bring the Netflix." I replied with one line: "I eat at my place." No fight followed. The messages slowed. Then they stopped. On a quiet Sunday night, I wiped the bay floor, washed my hands and locked up. The phone was face down, alarm set for the morning route, class schedule pinned to the wall. I didn't need their approval, their rates, or their noise. I had work I could stand behind, keys that were mine, and a plan that stayed paid.